Hello guys, this is Razor Game Dev, and welcome back to another episode on Let's Make a Platformer in love2d. So let's look what we got so far. So right now, let me wait for with my recording software, sometimes it doesn't like to record open new windows, so if you don't see anything, I'm sorry about that. But this is what we got so far. We got a moving player. As soon as he collides with the side of a block, he'll snap to the top of it, which isn't exactly what we want, so you can just pass to the bottom of blocks, and it's really jittery and stuff. So today we're going to work on better collision physics and all that stuff. So over in our player class, it may look a little different, but everything's exactly the same. I just wrote some notes for what I'm going to be doing in this episode. So to start things off, I'm just going to delete. Actually, no, I'm going to go down here. So the way I'm going to be doing this, or what we need to do is we need to apply velocity and stuff in the top of the code, right, in the top of the tick function, and then check and remove the velocity, and only apply it once apply the velocity that we set once we're down here. So once we go through all the checks here and remove velocity, it will and then it'll apply it. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. I didn't explain that too well. So okay, so we're just going to delete that right there. What we want to do first is check if we're on the top side of the block or the bottom side of the block. So to do that, we're just going to use a simple formula. Self.pose.y plus self.size.y divided by 2. So we're getting the middle of the y, or middle of ourselves. If that is I'm going to say less than rectangle.position.y plus rectangle.size.y divided by 2. Then we're on the top, else we're on the bottom. Okay. And this is useful for picking if we're colliding. This is useful if if we're colliding with the top of the block or with the bottom of the block. So we can have separate, physics for that. So let's check if our bounding box is inside the other box, or inside the tile. So box.pose.y. Now remember, this bounding box has velocity applied to it. So this isn't the position of our player, it's the position of our player if we actually apply the velocity. Let's keep going. That size.y is greater than rectangle.position.y. Then, or actually let's say and. So next we want to check if it's within a certain depth. So if oh man, I can't speak. We're going to check our actual position and see if we're not too deep in the block. So self.pose.y, self.size.y, because if we are, we might be underneath it, and we don't want to snap it if we're underneath it. And we're going to add 8 pixels of lenience. So if this is true, what we want to do is we want to snap the player to the top of the block. So looking at my notes, we just want to say self.position.y is equal to rectangle.position.y subtract the player's width, or height, I should say. Okay, so if we do this, everything should be exactly the same. Boom. It should actually be a little less jerky with falling down and stuff. Okay, cool. So yeah, we got the top collision. So right here, I'm actually going to say I want to go to continue down here. So yeah, go down to continue. When we get to the x coordinate, or x collision, side to side, we do the up and down collisions first, which means that once we do this, we want to skip the x and y collision. Once we do this block, this right here. So we're gonna just go down to this breakpoint and continue on with the next collision check cycle. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to say self.position.y is equal to, we're just going to snap it to the bottom of the tile. Oop. I'm looking at my notes right here, and not looking at what I'm typing. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. And then I want to reverse the velocity. Now this is important later when we remove infinite jumping. So now if we run it, as you can see, if I just hold down the jump button, we will jump forever. And don't worry, we'll fix that falling into the block. So now if we hit the bottom of here, he'll just keep sticking there, but once we add a on ground check, he won't. He'll fall down. But yeah, so now if you look right here, instead of that was not a good example. Let me restart that. Okay, so if you look right here, we fall into the block basically. We're not snapped to the top anymore. So we're gonna do X collisions now. So just like with the Y, we're gonna check if we're on the left side of the tile or the right side. So we're gonna say if self.position.x plus self.size self.size.x divided by 2 is less than rectangle.position.y x plus rectangle.size.x divided by 2. If this is true, then we're on the left side. Else, we're on the right side. Okay, so here we're going to check if we're intersecting the block. If box.position.x plus box. Actually, you know what? Before we do this, we need to change this right here. We want to actually do the same thing we did right here and apply some velocity. So we're going to say plus, we're going to put some parentheses here. We're going to say self.velocity.x times delta time times self.direction.x. Alright, so there we go. So now this accounts for, so this bounding box is where we would be if we applied velocity. So back to here. Box dot, what am I doing? Let me look. Size.x is greater than rectangle.position.x. And self.position.x plus self.size.x. Wait, what am I doing? Oh, actually, we want to check. Yeah, I know what we're doing. This needs to be y. We want to check that we're below the rectangle to make sure that we're not, like snapping the player when he's on top of the rectangle, which would not be good. There we go. So let's say self.position.x is equal to rectangle.position.x minus self.size.x. We also want to set the self.velocity.x equal to 0, and then self.direction.x equal to 0. There we go. So we got one side. We got the left side done. So if we run this, did not work. Maybe I need to check the other side. Maybe I got the other side. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up. Anyway, if we, that's weird. Maybe it's because I'm lagging. Let's see, what did I do? Let me add a print statement here and do some debugging. Hey. So if I run it, I should say hey. Yeah, okay. Everything's multiplied by delta time, so the lag shouldn't be it. Maybe okay, let's try the other side. Let's add the other side, and if there's still an issue, I'll cut and figure it out, so you guys don't have to watch me debug, because that's boring. Oh, one more thing. By the way, if you ever add a print statement in like a loop or in an update function, writing to the I/O, to IO stream to the console is actually really slow. So it will actually reduce the amount of frames that you're getting in your game. So if you see a weird lag, check your console to make sure you're not printing everything per frame. Whenever I want to check a variable like that, if I'm not lazy, I will add a sleep function, or not a sleep function, but I'll add a timer that will do it that'll print every like 1 second or so. Okay, so we're doing the exact same thing basically as right, but just left. Y is greater than rectangle dot position dot y. Then let's end it. Sublim's not working with me today. It's kind of annoying. Self dot val. Oop. By the way, I really recommend Sublime Text if you're going to work in Lua or just about any language. It's very customizable. You can like script in it. You can create plugins. You can change your tire theme, which I just did here. So let's snap it to the edge of the block. There we go. So let's try this out. Let's see if this works. It's not. I think it's because we're lagging. So let me just let it run for a couple seconds, because it was working before. Okay, so I'm going to come back. I'm going to see what's wrong. I'm going to check, when I'm not recording, because recording does drop a lot of frames, and I'll come back to you. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright guys, I'm back, and I figured out what it was. So it was this continue right here. I don't really understand why this broke it, because it was working in the game before when I wrote this and tested it out. But anyway, it works without it, so I'm happy with that. If you look here, I have a print statement that shows you which side we're on of the block, and you'll notice that it won't pass through the block anymore, and it's very smooth. And I like that a lot. So that's good. So yeah, we got left and right collision, and it's very smooth, and I like it. Let me see. So let's try implementing this now, and see if that breaks everything or what the heck happens. Yeah, that breaks everything. I guess I think I'll work on blow collision off camera sometime. Maybe we'll fix that next episode, or maybe I'll work on it right now. I don't know how much you want me to see filling around, because a lot about coding is just trying stuff. Yeah, you can see, like, if I pass underneath the block, it will zoom it to the edge of the block right here, and then and that's what we want. We don't want to ever be in the middle of a block. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good for now. Actually, I'm gonna try to fix this. So we're checking if the position of the player is on the upper half or the lower half. If it's on the upper half, we want to say, well, man, I'm trying to think. Let's just set our velocity to 0 to negative the velocity. If we do that, let's see what happens. It should still do the exact same thing, I'm pretty sure. Alright, boom, yeah. But, okay, so we really want to skip past all this X logic. So maybe I'll move the continue up, or maybe I'll make a second continue. Skip X. Let's go to here. Let me try that. It's a whole bunch of programming a game is experimenting. Yeah, see, that doesn't work. We don't pass through it, but left and right collision is broken now. Let me print. Let me see how many times this is being called. Should only be called when we collide with the top of the block. So okay, it's not being called. It's not being called. If you click that, it is being called. Okay, let's try something. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put at the end of the code right here, at the end of the X check, and say Y top right here, paste it in here. We want to check if it's below it. If it is below it, then I'm going to print. Another thing that I should mention is all this logic I'm actually going to put in a function. So let's say we want to add, enemies and stuff. We don't want to rewrite all this code. All right, so it's not printing now. We don't want to rewrite all that code. No. Okay, there we go. That would be a pain. All right, perfect. I think that's exactly what we want. So let's say self.vel.y is equal to negative self.velocity.y. I'm going to say self.position.y is equal to rect.position.y plus rect.size.y. In the next episode, I think I'm going to add a separate entity, another one. I think that'd be really cool. So let's check our X and Y collision. Okay, X is still working. X is still working on both sides, and I died. All right, let's restart that and actually try it. Now let's collide with the roof over here. Ah, shoot. All right, well, I'll figure that out off camera. But for now, this is what we got. In the next episode, we're going to write a physics class, or a physics module, I guess, and implement a separate entity, maybe a bad guy or a zombie or something. So anyway, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Sorry for how much debugging I was doing. I don't know if you guys want to see that or not. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.